You ever play a game that just blew your mind, but nobody talks about it? Some games deserve way more love than they get. Today, we're looking at 10 of the most underrated games ever made. These aren't just hidden gems. They're games that should have been huge, but for one reason or another, never got the attention they deserved. So, let's get started. At number 10, Spec Ops, The Line. On the surface, it looks like just another military shooter. But once you get into it, this game hits differently. It's not about being a hero. It's about the cost of war, the weight of decisions, and how everything can fall apart. The story is brutal, the atmosphere is haunting, and by the time the credits roll, you're left questioning everything. Yet, it barely made a dent in the gaming world. It deserved so much more. If you're looking for a game that challenges you emotionally as much as it does in gameplay, this is it. At number 9, Astral Chain. This action-packed game from Platinum Games is an absolute thrill ride. The combat is stylish and unique, letting you control both a main character and a powerful companion called a Legion at the same time. The cyberpunk setting is gorgeous, the story is gripping, and the gameplay is some of the best in the action genre. But despite being a Nintendo Switch exclusive with incredible mechanics, it never got the mainstream attention it deserved. Maybe it was overshadowed by bigger franchises, but if you love deep, fast-paced combat and a world dripping with style, this is a must-play. At number 8, Bulletstorm. If first-person shooters had a rock star, this would be it. It's fast, violent, and ridiculous in the best way possible. Instead of just shooting enemies, you're encouraged to take them out with insane, creative kills. The more stylish your takedown, the more points you get. It's one of the most fun FPS experiences out there, but somehow it got overlooked. Maybe it was the bad marketing or the crowded release window, but it definitely didn't get the respect it deserved. If you're tired of serious shooters and just want to have a blast, you need to play this one. At number 7, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. This game took an ancient Chinese tale and turned it into a cinematic action adventure that still holds up today. The storytelling is emotional, the characters feel real, and the world is absolutely stunning. It had everything it needed to be a hit, but for some reason, it never caught fire. The character interactions, especially between Monkey and Trip, make this game unforgettable. If you love single-player adventures with deep narratives and amazing visuals, this one is a must-play. At number 6, Mad Max open-world games are everywhere, but few capture their setting as perfectly as this one. You feel the wasteland in every dust storm, every wrecked car, every brutal fight. The vehicle combat is some of the best ever made, and the hand-to-hand combat feels raw and impactful. Yet when it came out, it got overshadowed by bigger releases. Over the years, it's gained a bit of a following, but it still deserves way more credit. If you love open-world action games, this is one you don't want to miss. At number 5, Sleeping Dogs. Imagine GTA, but set in Hong Kong, with martial arts combat that feels straight out of a classic action movie. This game has everything: an incredible story, amazing hand-to-hand combat, and a world packed with style and culture. The driving is smooth, the side missions are engaging, and the characters are well written. But despite all of that, it never got the same love as other open-world games. It's a crime because this is one of the best in the genre. If you enjoy games with deep combat mechanics and a gripping story, this is one you need to experience. At number 4, Prey 2017. This isn't just a sci-fi shooter. It's one of the best immersive sims ever made. It gives you total freedom to approach problems however you want. The atmosphere is tense, the story is deep, and the gameplay is incredibly creative. The Talos I space station feels like a living, breathing world filled with mysteries to uncover. But because of a confusing marketing campaign and the fact that it shared a name with an older, unrelated game, it never took off. That's a tragedy because it's one of the best games of its kind. If you love deep, choice-driven games, this one will blow you away. At number 3, The Evil Within 2. Horror fans, this one is for you. The first Evil Within was good, but the sequel? It's on another level. It mixes psychological horror with open-ended gameplay, letting you explore and survive in ways most horror games don't allow. The shift to a semi-open world lets players choose how to tackle encounters, adding more depth to the horror experience. But it didn't get the hype it deserved. Maybe people were burnt out on survival horror, but this game should have been a classic. If you love horror games that give you both tension and freedom, this is one of the best out there. And number 2, Titanfall 2. This game had everything. A campaign with one of the best FPS storylines ever, buttery smooth gameplay, and multiplayer that was just pure fun. The movement system, with wall running and jetpacks, made combat feel fresh and dynamic. But EA decided to release it right between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and it got buried. It's one of the biggest injustices in gaming because this game should have been legendary. If you love FPS games, you owe it to yourself to play this masterpiece. And number 1, Hollow Knight. Yes, it has a loyal fan base now, but when it launched, most people ignored it. This game is a work of art. The world is beautifully designed, the combat is tight, the atmosphere is unforgettable, and the challenge is just right. It's easily one of the best Metroidvania games ever made, but it had to fight for recognition. The hand-drawn art style and fluid animations make it visually stunning, while the deep lore keeps players coming back for more. Even now, it deserves even more love. And there you have it, 10 games that deserve better. Some of these have gained a cult following over the years, but others are still waiting for their moment. If you played any of these, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't, give them a shot. You might just find your next favorite game. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content.